Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. This is Craig from Craig's Car Care. This is not a how-to video. Sorry, didn't have time to show you all the steps in changing this one out. But if you're hearing a clicking in your dashboard, especially if it's a Ford product, and you start the car up and you hear a click, 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 or tap, 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 or pop, 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 for any length of time, it could be 5 or 10 seconds, it could be up to a minute. Sometimes they won't even stop at all before they time out, or maybe they don't. So what this is one of many little mode actuators that the vehicle uses to control where your vehicle's air conditioning and heating, or HVAC, channels the air, sends the air through the vehicle. These can be for the floor vents, the dash vents, the defrosters, or any combination of these. And so, and they'll also control hot and cold as well. So what is happening here and what you're hearing is, if you'll look here and see where these teeth are missing, and let me give you a little flashlight here. You'll see right here. See, that has those broken teeth right there? Let me see if I can get closer and maintain some focus for you. What's happened is that tooth is broken off. And what you probably can't see, there's a few other ones that may not show up here where the teeth are kind of chipped and discolored. And this big gear goes with this small gear that is driven by this motor. The vehicle's system uses resistance and timing to know when to start and stop these. So if it is looking to close a door or check a door and feel resistance within the wiring and turn the unit on or off, if it doesn't feel that resistance, it'll try for about another 10 to 15 seconds, sometimes longer, until it times out. And that's why you'll have things still working, like hot or cold, or where the air comes out, but it still makes that noise. Eventually, they fail so badly that the doors will not change their position. And you may not even hear the clicking anymore, but you'll usually also notice that it's not changing the positions, like as you're requesting them there at the dash. That's where the plastic unit goes into the HVAC air handler case and makes contact with the door it should be controlling. Like I said, there can probably be 5 or 6 of these or more in a vehicle, depending on how elaborate the systems are. There's normally a case on the back of this. We took this apart just to kind of show you this, and there's a good angle of the missing tooth on this one. Some of these can be changed in a half an hour. Some of these take the whole day because you have to pull the entire dashboard apart to get to some of these. On these, we always recommend to go with a factory part, not an aftermarket part. The aftermarket ones are made with basically all plastic gears as well. And we find the factory ones tend to last quite a bit longer overall than the aftermarket ones. The aftermarket ones will cost less up front, but like you said, like I was saying, if this has to be an all-day thing to change out, I don't want to have to do this again. And if I'm warranting this thing for 3 or 4 years for somebody and a whole lot of miles, I really don't want to go bad, because 1, you'll be inconvenienced, and 2, we'll lose a lot of time warranting this rascal out, and we'll lose some credibility because we won't look as professional as we should. Also keep in mind, and I always let people know that when I change these things out and I get in there, it is not at all uncommon to find out that the reason this broke wasn't because of age or time, but because the door it's controlling has failed in some way. Either it's gotten in a bind on its own, it's broken, fallen apart, and it got in a bind and made this system overstress itself and break a gear, or things get dropped in through the vents by kids, adults, it doesn't really matter. Or things get sucked into the system from your glove box. When you got all that stuff crammed in your glove box, that can get sucked into the recirculation side and make it through in some cases, make it through the systems, or at least get into maybe the recirculation door and pin it. And when it jams these doors and they get in a bind while trying to close or change positions, that can also cause it to break. So just because this is going on, it may not be this simple. The only way to really know for sure is to find which motor you're hearing, pull it out, see if the door works normally, try and look inside there either with a bore scope, or if you can get better access, look inside there and make sure that there's nothing in there that's causing a problem, because you don't want to go through all the time and effort and expense of replacing this motor and then have it happen, immediately, which would really suck, or happen days later or months later. You destroy a new part, and now you've got the downtime again of it not working, and then all the expense that goes with it. Even if you do it yourself and you get this thing online and you save money and do all the work yourself, but if you didn't get to the root problem and didn't diagnose it and test it correctly through your testing and inspection process, you could easily end up having to redo all this work, plus you change out a part that won't be warranted because it broke, not through any fault of the part, but because you didn't find out what the root problem was. So again, this is not the how-to, this is just the information part of it. We get these questions every single day, and so I'd like to be able to push this one out there. And this is another one we had to get done quickly. This one, incidentally, was next to a gas pedal, so I think it was less than 2 hours to change it. I think he had to remove the gas pedal assembly to get to the cotton picking motor here, which, these things drive you nuts why they don't make them easier to get to. But by the time he did that and went through a recalibration process, and also, like I said, he inspected the door both with a bore scope and with manually operating it back and forth and looking carefully to make sure that this one failed just because of its age. It's just, they can fail at 50,000 miles, they can fail at 200,000 miles. But this one I don't remember the mileage on this one, but it was over 100. And again, this is pretty common, especially on the Ford products. Well, I've wasted almost 8 minutes of your day. So if it helped, please like and subscribe. If it didn't help, please be kind. Be kind with your comments too, please. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Craig from Craig's Car Care.